Perfect. Okay. Hi, welcome. Thank you for coming to learn more about the RISE FFA program. I'm Jessica Parrish, and I'm the Executive Director of the Ohio FFA Foundation. This program is honestly probably one of the ones that I am most proud of all the things we do. And the reason is I think it's so important that you all have options to jumpstart your career with great companies after high school. And this program helps and supports you and mentors you along the way in that process. So you can immediately upon finishing high school, jumpstart your career with a really great company, and you're going to have a great experience learning and growing in that role. So that's why I'm really proud of it. Today, we have some leaders of Sunrise Cooperative on the call with us. They will be sharing more details about the program, an overview of it, and I will share more about the application and interview process. And then at the end, we can answer any questions you have that we haven't already covered. So we are recording this for you all to access later and for more students around Ohio to access as well. So like I said, we're really glad that you're here. This program is a fantastic way for you to jumpstart your career, and you have the bonus of potentially winning a truck as a nice signing bonus and a nice high school graduation present. But really, there's a lot of opportunity here and a lot of positions available. So one student will win a truck, but many students will get hired and have the benefit of full-time employment upon graduating. To learn a little bit more about the program, I am going to kick off a video where we will hear from George Secor to learn more about the program. And then he's also on the call live to hear some remarks in person. But we'll get started with a quick overview of the RISE FFA program through a video.
Hello, I'm George Secor, President and CEO of Sunrise Cooperative. Really happy to be in front of you today to talk to you about an exciting chapter that you may want to explore as you ponder graduating from high school. We started out, and Sunrise Cooperative has always been very big in supporting college scholarships of the children and grandchildren of our stockholders and also our employees. We invest $50,000 a year in college scholarships, and that's great, and we will continue to do that. But we wanted to reach down farther into FFA students with the ones that do not want to go to college, that want to jumpstart their career and think they're ready to start right into agriculture. So we came up with the RISE FFA program, a great partnership between Sunrise Cooperative and FFA. We're now 2 years into that program, and we've added another leg to it, Sunrise University. And simply what Sunrise University is taking those students in FFA that want to jumpstart themselves, go into the agricultural workforce today, bring them into Sunrise Cooperative, and let us show you all the different facets of agriculture Sunrise is in. Again, we started out with the RISE FFA, and it was one individual. Today, we're not putting a number on that. Yes, the number one individual will still get the pickup truck that's a year old that the state president drove for a year. But the rest of them can come into Sunrise Cooperative, into Sunrise University, and work for the first 2 years throughout the company, then the remaining 2 years on an agreed upon choice between that student and Sunrise. So I hope you'll sit back and think about your future. Does it include college? And if you are a relative to a stockholder or an employee, apply for our college scholarships. If you are interested in applying for the RISE FFA program, please go to the Sunrise Cooperative webpage with the address you see on the screen. The deadline to apply is March 4th, 2022. Good luck.
At this time, I'll kick it over to George Secor. It's not very often that we have the president and CEO of an organization that's able to join us to chat about this program specifically, but I think this truly demonstrates the commitment that Sunrise has to this program. So we're really glad that George could be here, and George, take it away.
Thank you, Jessica. And for all of you that's on this call or that are going to see the recording later, the bottom line is we want you on our team. There's a lot of jobs in our company. There's 430 full-time positions in our company that range all over from in the office to out in the field to grain, agronomy, energy, just a multitude of different jobs that I think if you want to be in agriculture, we want you on our team. We can teach you anything. This isn't a job where you come into it and you know nothing about it or nothing about our company. You don't need to know that. You just have to have a desire to want to work in agriculture. We have 430 employees that'll teach you every day. Just team up with one of them, go learn what they do. It's not a fast paced, you have to learn something by a certain date. That's not at all. We'll expose you to a multitude of different applications that we do at the pace that you're comfortable with. And again, it's not that we can't teach you. We can teach you anything about agriculture. You don't have to have a background at all, just a desire to want to work in agriculture. So I hope that you'll consider this. And again, college is a great way to go. But if you're not going to go to college and you want to be in agriculture, I think Sunrise University will give you the ability to be in agriculture at your pace and come out of it learning while you're earning. Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, George. Thanks for being here. At this time, we're going to turn it over. I think one of the biggest questions we've always gotten is, what does a day in the life of this job look like? And so we have two different testimonials. We'll start with Jacob Walters. He was hired 1 year ago and was our truck winner last year. And so we'll hear from Jacob about what he likes about the job, and you'll get to see a little bit more about what he does every day.
Hi, my name is Jacob Walters, and I came to Sunrise through the RISE FFA program. So far, I've been to Ballville Agronomy, and then I went to Uniopolis Grain. While I was at Ballville, I started out the first couple of weeks doing chemicals, mostly liquid 28, and then moved over to the side, or over to seed a little bit, just taking deliveries and helping out where needed. I then went to Uniopolis Grain. Started out the first couple of weeks doing cleaning, maintenance, getting ready for harvest. Then once harvest started, it was just loading and unloading trucks. And then once we started getting some trains and stuff, I spent a lot of my time in the locomotive actually driving the train. Some of my favorite parts have been just working with a diverse group of people of all ages and getting able to pick their brains about agronomy or grain and just agriculture in general. And just being able to get on-the-job training without the traditional classroom setting. I applied for the RISE program because I've always been in agriculture my entire life, and I knew I enjoyed it, and I wasn't set on continuing my education through college. So this was something that allowed me to work in a career field I already knew I liked and wanted to go into, and was still able to learn without having to sit in the classroom all day. If you're unsure of whether or not to apply, like myself, I wasn't sure what exactly I wanted to do, I would highly recommend applying for this. This allows you to learn a little bit about it hands-on and on the job, and if later on you decide that you want to go back to school and do something more in one of those areas, this is definitely a great hands-on learning experience.
At this time, we can dive more into the program overview and what those rotations look like. A Vice President of Marketing at Sunrise Cooperative, Morgan Niedermeyer, is on the call, and she can share a lot more about the position.
Hello, thanks. Thank you for having me. Just a real quick overview, just to tag on what George had mentioned. The setup of this is, as you are hired and are ready to come on board at Sunrise, we established those first 2 years that you will get experience starting out at the operational level across the board at Sunrise, from top to bottom. And we place you in terms of where you're located at. We have just over 30 facilities across our trade territory, and we'll look to where is the most feasible and easiest to access for you in terms of where you're currently living. And we'll work with you in terms of your rotations at the different times of the year to keep it so it's within a good distance of where you're living and things like that. And we'll work with you to help accommodate those rotations in terms of where we are at during the time of year, whether it's in the fall at a grain facility during harvest. We'll want to transition you somewhere during the summer months where you'll get some real experience of the busy time of year. And in the summer, for example, it could be at an agronomy facility after planting, or even in our energy department, doing a lot with our monitors and helping out with deliveries during the summer months. Or even though you move into the winter, you could even do energy on that side of things. So the goal here is, we're established as a 4-year commitment. First 2 years, as you can see on the screen, is spent around all of our areas of Sunrise and rotating around different facilities as much as possible, a different areas as much as possible to give you a well-rounded experience. Then in the latter 2 years of your commitment, we'll place you in an area where it's more of a permanent spot that you want to learn more about and really establish some more experience in that area. But then when you look at it after 4 years, obviously, if you're a great employee, we don't want to lose you. It would be just lead into continued employment at Sunrise. So it's not necessarily a 4 years and you're done and we part ways. We'd love to continue, obviously, your employment with us. You'll just transition out, continue as your full-time employment at Sunrise, but not necessarily part of the RISE FFA program anymore. You'll be in and established at a specific location and a specific job that you will stay in for the time being until you would like to continue somewhere else. So overall, it's an opportunity just to get some real hands-on experience, and we can train you, like George said, in all areas of Sunrise and what we're doing. And you'll mentor with someone at a facility to help you lead you through how we do things and we operate at Sunrise, and to educate you, not so much in a classroom setting, but more of the hands-on training is what we aim for with the program.
Thanks, Morgan. Thanks for sharing that overview. We will now hear from Ethan Van Dixon, who was the first hire into the RISE FFA program, which has evolved into Sunrise University. Ethan is on his second year of employment, and so we'll hear from him about what he likes about his role.
Hi, I'm Ethan Bendixson. I came to Sunrise through the RISE FFA program. I'm in my second year of the RISE program. I started at Kettlersville PCT doing different fertilizer deliveries and making different fertilizers. I have been to the South Charleston grain facility where we dumped grain and loaded out on trains. I've also been to the Uniopolis agronomy facility where we've done soil sampling in the fall and some custom application stuff. My favorite part so far about being at Sunrise has been being able to learn all the different aspects of the company and realizing I can hone in more on certain areas such as agronomy. I applied for the RISE program because at the end of high school I wasn't quite sure that I wanted to go to college. Then I realized I enjoyed working a lot more, and so to be able to get more experience and still learn a lot, such as being in college, has been a great experience. I think a senior should apply for the RISE FFA program in the aspect that they don't necessarily want to go to college, but you want to learn more about the agricultural industry. That's the biggest thing that you can learn, is through doing work and experiencing how ag works.
I think Ethan summarizes in such a nice way that if you're interested in learning and jumping into on-the-job training, this is a great program for you. So I'd like to share a little bit more about the interview process and the deadlines and what that looks like. And I'll start with sharing what makes a good candidate. What is Sunrise looking for an employee, and what is the FFA looking for as we determine the truck winner? The biggest thing is someone who's excited about going to work and jumpstarting their career. If you are a hard worker and you can demonstrate that in your interview and you're committed to this program, you're going to stand above other applicants, because that's all we're looking for. An out-of-the-box thinker that's going to really jump in with 2 feet and get started and learn on the job. And so if that's something that sounds like you, you're a great candidate for this program. So I'll advance the slide real quick, and there's a few deadlines here that you can take note of. So if you are interested in this, if after hearing about this from George and Morgan and Jacob and Ethan, if this sounds like something that you want to participate in, you need to apply online by March 4th. It's a pretty simple online application. It won't take you a ton of time, but you've got to get that application in by March 4th, because we'll start that hiring process right away. After you apply, we will do a simple phone interview screening, and you can schedule this at your leisure. So I'll send you a link and you'll be able to schedule the time. So if you have class or work, we can definitely work around that to make sure between March 9th, 11th, and 14th, we'll do a phone interview screening. What is that phone interview looking for? Really, that's me personally touching base with every applicant to make sure you know what you're applying for and you're still interested in this. We have had applicants in the past that their plans have changed since, and the phone screening kind of helps solidify that and make sure that you're still interested and this is still aligns with your plans and what you want to do. And it's a great way for me to make sure you're committed in terms of wanting to jumpstart your career, and you answer the phone and you pick up and you schedule it and we can have a nice conversation. They're short and they're easy, but it's a great way for us to screen out and make sure you're committed and want to do this. Then we will do Zoom interviews with our FFA appointed committee on March 23rd and 24th. And we'll ask you a lot more questions about your past work experience here. And that can be both paid employment if you have a job right now, or maybe that's through your FFA experience or other community roles you've played. We've had applicants in the past that have told us about their time as a captain on the football team, or they worked at a dairy farm, or they work at, a local company. And so we really just want to learn more about you through that interview and why you're interested in this program. And it's a great way for us to gauge what assets and skills will you bring to Sunrise Cooperative. Our committee will make a really comprehensive list of recommendations after that, and we'll send that over to Sunrise. And then you'll hear from Sunrise sometime in April about being offered a position if you are one of the ones hired. And again, we have one truck to give away, but we have many positions for Sunrise University. So if you're offered one of those positions, you'll hear from Sunrise. There'll be a little bit of, background checks, HR paperwork type things to get you committed and signed on to work. You'll work with Sunrise for that. And then, so once you're committed, you have accepted a position in Sunrise University and you're part of this 4-year commitment. You will attend Ohio FFA convention, and we're going to surprise the truck winner on stage. So we'll announce that truck winner. This year, there's a picture of it here on the screen. It's a Jeep truck. It's really nice. Jake, our state president, has been taking great care of it. And it's a nice vehicle. So it'll be a nice signing bonus for one of you to win. And then people are always curious, when will I start working? It'll be sometime right after you graduate. So Sunrise will work with you based on your high school graduation schedule and what that looks like to employee onboard and begin your job sometime in the month of June, depending on when your school gets out. So that's kind of the timeline. The biggest thing, make sure you apply by March 4th, and then you'll start work sometime after you graduate, and the truck will be announced at convention, and we'll do interviews before that. And you'll work with Sunrise to, get committed and do all your HR paperwork to sign on. So that's kind of our timeline. But like I said, really this program's a great fit if you want to jumpstart your career. And Morgan mentioned you can live, anywhere in the huge territory that Sunrise has, and they'll work with you individually to place you at branches. And it's a really customized experience, which is great. At this time, if you all have any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask. This QR code, if you're curious, you can scan that and it'll take you straight to the Sunrise website where you can click on apply now if you're interested. And there's also a little bit more information in the graphic that Morgan had about rotating through the divisions. So you can access all of that info here. But I'll pause and answer any questions you have. Great. So Morgan, I'll let you answer this. We have a question about during those first 2 years, are you traveling around to branches or are you stationed at one place?
Yes, great question. Ideally, we would like it set up that we would like you to rotate around to different facilities to get a real good feel about how Sunrise operates. Every facility, they all operate in similar because we're all one Sunrise. We just have multiple locations, but you're still under the Sunrise umbrella. But based on your location, ideally, if it is feasible and doable, we would like to get you to some different facilities. But we have grain facilities, we have agronomy facilities, we have energy facilities. They're all different. Anytime that may be a similar is, for example, we have some grain and agronomy in the same location, for example, Crestline and South Charleston, but they're different operating offices and facilities, whatever. But ideally, we would like to get you to all the different areas and multiple areas to see around the company.
Thanks, Morgan. I would add to that in the videos. I think you kind of heard Jacob and Ethan talk a little bit about, I was at Crestline for 2 weeks. I was here for 2 weeks. And so you're not rotating necessarily every day. It wouldn't be a new branch every day. You would kind of settle in for a chunk of time at a branch. And then as the season changes or the work changes or your rotation changes, you could move around. So you'll still get to know those local cooperative branch employees too. And like George mentioned at the beginning, they're here to help you and train you. So you'll get to know all of them. So again, I'll just highlight, make sure you apply by March 4th. You can scan this QR code and we'll post this Q&A on YouTube and we'll get that link out so that you can rewatch it. If you have more questions, you can access it again. And I know lots of you will be tuning in after this live portion to the online recorded version. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here and being part of this. FFA is really proud to offer this. It's a great program, and it's a really nice way for you to jumpstart your career, learn on the job, still be mentored and grow, but also have full-time employment immediately following high school. So I hope you all take advantage of it, and thanks for joining us.